Yeah. So what is teleportation? What do you mean by teleportation? Moving from one place to the other. Yeah, great. So today's topic, we are going to talk about quantum teleportation, teleporting information of one qubit to another qubit. Complete teleportation of information from one qubit to another qubit. That is called as quantum teleportation. We're going to look into that certain algorithm. Since we all covered the basics, now we are going to look into algorithms. So our first algorithm will be quantum teleportation. Here is it. Yeah, quantum teleportation, in which quantum information, that is exact state of an atom or photon, that is in our case it might be a qubit which is an electron of an atom, can be transmitted exactly in principle from one place, one location to another with help of classical communication and previously shared quantum entanglement between the sending and receiving location. So when two qubits have been entangled, the state of one qubit can be completely transferred to the other qubit, completely transferred to the other qubit, not getting the information. In entanglement, we saw about information. Now we are going to completely teleport the state of a certain qubit to another qubit, which in which two qubits are entangled. We're going to completely change the state of one qubit to go to another qubit. You'll get a better understanding when we actually run the code, so don't worry. This is our qubit. Our qubit will go from this place to another place. That is what exactly happening behind quantum teleportation. Although the name is inspired by the teleportation commonly used in fiction, quantum teleportation is limited to transfer of information rather than matter itself. That's true. We are not going to transfer the whole qubit from this place to other. We are only transferring the information inside this qubit from inside a certain qubit to another qubit. We are transferring it, not copying it. We are completely transferring information from this qubit to another qubit. You're not transferring the whole matter, whole qubit into the other place. Just transferring the information which is inside the qubit. Quantum teleportation is not a form of transportation. Kindly note this. Quantum teleportation is not transportation. Communication, but of communication. We are communicating. It provides a way of immediately transferring a qubit from one location to another without having a physical particle along with it. We are not going to have any physical means of transportation. We are only going to communicate two qubits and transfer the information from one qubit to another qubit. That's all we are going to do. That is quantum teleportation. So let's have an overview of how our algorithm is going to work. Let's say there are three people, Alice, Bob, and Eve. All right. There are three people, Alice, Bob, and Eve. And Alice wants to send an information to Bob. But Alice doesn't know Bob. However, there is Eve. Eve knows Bob. Eve is entangled to Bob, and Eve is entangled to Alice. So what can we do is Alice will send an information to Bob, but Eve won't know what the information is. Alice will send that information to Eve using performing certain operation to the classical bit or the qubit. Alice will perform certain operation to the qubit and send that information to Eve. And Eve will not know the information, what the information is inside that qubit. He will never know what information is contained inside the qubit. He can't decode. Eve cannot decode what information is inside the qubit. Eve cannot do that. But when Bob receives that, he can decode the information and the qubit state will be received by Bob. And Alice will not have the qubit state anymore. For example, if Alice has the qubit X gate, which is a NOT gate, and he is transferring the NOT gate, the NOT state of that qubit to Bob, Eve won't know that it is a NOT gate. But when Bob receives, Eve will get that NOT gate and Alice won't have that NOT gate anymore. He's completely transferring that information from Alice to Bob. We are completely transferring the information from Alice to Bob. Eve is a friend to both Alice and Bob. So understandable? Is this theory understandable? The Eve, Alice, and Bob. Eve are friends. Eve is friends with both Alice and Bob. That's why. Okay, I'll explain again. So I'll go to this text part. It explains better. Alice wants to send a quantum information to Bob. So this is Alice and this is Bob. Alice wants to send in quantum information to Bob. Then specifically, suppose she wants to send the qubit state. Well, consider this as a NOT gate. Don't don't take your work to decode it. Consider this is a NOT gate. She wants to send a NOT gate state, which is the qubit state is NOT gate. And this entails passing information about alpha to beta to Bob. Alpha and beta to Bob. Alpha and beta, let's say they both consider make a NOT gate. This this is passing the information of the qubit, which is NOT gate to Bob. Passing that NOT gate to Bob. From Alice to Bob, you are passing a NOT gate. For example, you are considering NOT gate. There are many other states of information, not only NOT gate. For example, we are considering NOT gate. So Alice wants to transfer a NOT gate from her to Bob. There exists a theorem in quantum mechanics which states that you can't simply make an exact copy of an unknown quantum state. That is true. Well, I can't copy the state of Alice. I can see I'm having a qubit. I'm having certain qubit which has NOT gate or Hadamard gate applied to it. I can't exactly copy the state of a quantum particle to another quantum. I can never copy quantum particles. I can never do copy paste in quantum mechanics. I cannot copy the state of an electron to another electron because the state itself is uncertain. So I cannot copy it, but I can transfer it. I can't copy it, but I can transfer it. You can never copy the state of a qubit or any quantum information. You can't copy it. That's why you're going to transfer it. There exists a theorem in quantum mechanics which states you can't make a exact copy of an unknown quantum state. So you can never copy a state. This is known as no cloning theorem. So, well, keep in mind of no cloning theorem, which states that you can't make copy of a certain qubit. As a result of this, Alice can simply generate a copy of her qubit and give it to Bob. So Alice cannot make a copy of qubit and tell Bob to take it. She can't do it because we can't copy in quantum particles. We can't copy a quantum particles or qubits. So Alice can't do that. However, by taking advantage of two classical bits and an entangled qubit pair, Alice can transfer a state to Bob. She is not copying a state to Bob. She is transferring her whole state to Bob. So the entangled qubit pair is Eve. Eve makes this qubit pair entangled. Eve is entangled to Alice and Eve is entangled to Bob. So she is entangled to both of them. So what Alice will do is Alice will perform certain operations to a qubit, like let's say a NOT gate or some other operations to a qubit, and send it to Eve. However, Eve can't read that information, which Alice is sending Eve. Eve can't read that information. But when Eve transfers that information to Bob, Bob can decode the information and take the state for himself, take that qubit state for himself. And Alice won't have that qubit state anymore because Bob will now have it. So Alice won't have that qubit state anymore. We call this teleportation. As the end, Bob will have and Alice won't anymore. Bob will have that qubit state and Alice won't have that anymore. The quantum teleportation protocol. To transfer a quantum bit, Alice and Bob must use a third party Eve to send them an entangled qubit pair. So they are entangled. These two pairs are entangled. Alice and Eve are entangled, and Eve and Bob are entangled. These two pairs are entangled. Alice then performs some operations on a qubit. As I told you, Alice will perform some operations on a qubit, sends it to Bob over a classical communication channel, which is the classical communication channel will be Eve. Eve will be a part of the classical communication channel. And then Bob performs certain operations on his end to receive Alice qubit. Sorry about that intonation part. To receive Alice qubit. So Alice will perform some operations and give it to Eve, and Bob will perform some informations from operations to get that information from Alice. And now the state will be completely transferred from Alice to Bob, but Eve won't be aware of what the state was being transferred, what was the nature of the state. Eve will not know any information about the state. So am I clear now? All right. So we are going to implement it in an algorithm. So we are going to take the steps and implement it in an algorithm. Don't worry about the mathematics or the working of the algorithm. Just take notes of the algorithm, how the algorithm is working, because that is for the best. Because if you want to know the backend of the algorithm, I would send you some resources in our WhatsApp group. You can find out the background about the algorithm, how exactly the mathematics work. I will try my best to give you a rough explanation of what is happening. But if not, I will send you some extra materials because explaining that will take me so much time. So as usual, we are done with the theory. Now we'll start by installing Qiskit and Matplotlib. So the both is been installing Qiskit Matplotlib. It will take some time as usual. Let's wait. You can ask your doubts in the meantime. Please feel free to ask your doubts. Even if it's, well, if it's so silly, ask it. So it's been downloading. All right. Takes time. Yeah. It's done. The downloading is done. Now I'll go ahead and import them both. Import Qiskit SQ, import Matplotlib inline. Someone is trying to join. All right. So I'm importing those two. Those two has been imported. Now I'm going to create a quantum circuit. I'm saying Q.quantum circuit 3, 3. So what does this signify? What sort of quantum circuit am I creating? How many qubits will be there in my quantum circuit 3, 3? How many qubits will be there? 3, 3. What? How many qubits and how many classical qubits will my quantum circuit have? When I say Q.quantum circuit 3, 3. 3 qubits, 3 classical bits. Right, Pranav? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my circuit. So as he said, we are having 3 qubits, Q0, Q1, Q2, C0, C1, C2. 3 qubits and 3 classical bits. Great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a NOT gate to my qubit. First, I'm going to apply my NOT gate. I'm going to transfer, I told you I need to transfer some information, right? The information I'm going to transfer is my NOT gate. So I'm going to apply my NOT gate. So I'll remove this part. All right. I'll apply my NOT gate to my qubit and I'll draw the output. Run it. Yeah, I've applied a NOT gate to my 0th qubit. And other qubits stays the same. I'm going to transfer this NOT gate from my 0th qubit to my second qubit, I guess. Yeah, I'll transfer it from my 0th qubit to my second qubit. And it's good use to do something called as barrier. Because before we are using, small circuits, only 2 or 3 operations were being performed in most circuits. But as you advance further, our circuit will be larger. We'll be having larger plottings. And you won't know what each plot means. So you need a barrier to understand the visualization better. So you will understand what a barrier is. Yeah. So it initialized 2 times. So I'll just run it again. Yeah. Barrier usually draws something called as like this, something like this in your circuit, something like a divider in your circuit. It's not actually a divider. It's for your understanding. It's for the visualization. So you can know this is a separate part. So this is before we are performing the algorithm. We are giving a state to our qubit, a NOT gate state. So since we are applying a NOT gate, in which state will our qubit 0 will be? In what state will my qubit 0 will be at? Any answers? What state will my qubit 0 will be at? I applied an OR gate to my 0th qubit. So what state should be my 0th qubit be at? Narayan is saying 1. Any other answers? Pranav 1. Any other answers? Come on, use the chat box. As I told you, I would recommend you to using the chat box. It's our only way to interact, guys. Any other answers about the qubit? Which state will be my 0th qubit at when I perform an OR operation to it? I got only 2 answers. Yeah, Vandana is right. All 3 of them are right. It will be on 1 state. So our qubit 0 will take a 1 state when we apply that operation. And once we done it, we are going to apply Hadamard gate to my first qubit. So the first qubit will be, I will tell you the roles of each qubit. Our 0th qubit will be Alice. Our second qubit will be Bob. and our first qubit will be Eve. All right, Alice, Bob, and Eve. Eve is the intermediator between Alice and Bob. Okay, so our first qubit, we will perform Hadamard gate to our first qubit. That is, we are going to make our first qubit go to superposition. Then what I'm doing is I'm connecting my Eve to Bob. I'm performing Hadamard gate to my Eve, and then I'm connecting my Eve to Bob. I'll run it. That's it. I performed an Hadamard gate and I connected my Eve towards Bob. Next, what I'm doing is I'll perform an control NOT gate again. Now I connected a Eve to Bob using control NOT gate. I entangle my Eve and Bob. Now I need to entangle my Eve and Alice. So what I'll do is I'll again perform a control NOT gate between Alice and Eve. I performed a control NOT gate between Eve and Bob. Now I'll perform a control NOT gate between Alice and Eve. Because as we saw in the picture, Eve needs to entangle between Alice and Bob. So Eve is being entangled with Alice, Bob over here. We are entangling Eve and Bob using control NOT gate CX1 comma 2, and we are entangling Eve and Alice using control NOT gate 0 comma 1. So Eve is now entangled to both Alice and Bob. And then we are reversing the operation. We applied a Hadamard gate and an control NOT. Then we are applying a control NOT gate and an Hadamard gate at our 0th qubit. Now I'll run it. So this is how far we are gone. Now I'll draw a barrier and I'll measure my 2 qubits. Measure my Alice and Eve. I'm not going to measure my Bob. I'm going to only measure my Alice and Eve. All right. So we've done it. Are there any doubts until now? Should I explain again? Are there any doubts until now? We have performed 3 operations, guys. First one is I performed an X gate, which is my initial gate, which I'll be transferring the information I'll be transferring from Alice to Bob, from Alice to Bob. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking advantage of my Eve and I'm making my Eve go to superposition. I'm connecting my Eve and Bob in entanglement. Then I'm connecting my Eve and Alice in entanglement. Then I'm applying an Hadamard gate to my Alice. Then I'm drawing the plot. Then I'm measuring my Eve and Alice. I'm only measuring Eve and Alice. I'm not measuring Bob. I'm only measuring Eve and Alice using classical bits. Is that fine? Is that clear? Or should I explain again? Clear. Everyone. So if anyone wants to explain me again, you all know I'll explain again. So kindly ask. Guys, please use the chat box. Why not measuring Bob? Because we are going to transfer the information of Eve to Bob. So we no need to measure Bob right now because Bob has no quantum states inside him. We are only transferring, only Eve and Alice are having quantum states to it. Bob is not having any quantum. It is only entangled to Eve, but it's not having any quantum states. And if we measure Bob, we won't get that quantum information. The quantum information will be collapsed, right? So we won't get that in quantum information. So it's good to not measure Bob, only Alice and Eve. Why are we putting Hadamard after entanglement? So as I told, there will be a few steps of operations between Eve and Alice before sending it to Bob. So this is the actual algorithm. Well, if I go on to decode the purpose of each gates and how it's working, it would take me more time. So I would rather give you a article about this in a WhatsApp group in which you can go deep diver into algorithm. For now, just remember you need to apply an Hadamard gate first, then connect them with the entangled qubit towards Bob, then connect Eve to Alice, then apply an Hadamard gate again. We are just consider it as we are reversing the operations to get the original information. All right. So any other doubts? Is everyone clear? Should I explain again? So we are removing it from superposition after this. Will not be removing it from superposition. It's one of the steps to transfer the state of that qubit from Alice to Bob. It's one of the operations. It's the part of the algorithm. It's part of that quantum teleportation algorithm. No, we won't be actually doing the reverse part. We'll be doing some complicated. The steps will be easier, but the math behind it and the actual operation behind it will be sort of complicated. As I told you, I can explain it to you, but it isn't in the scope of this video because if I start to explain it, it will take me more time. I'm planning to explain at least two algorithms in this today's class. So I'll make sure to send you an article in our WhatsApp group about the full complete explanation of this particular algorithm. Does that sound fine? All right. So that's it. We have done with our algorithm, more or less done with our algorithm. Now we need to transfer it to Bob. We got the information and we need to transfer it to Bob. Now what I'll do is I'll make another barrier. Then what I'm doing is control X 1, 2. What I'm exactly doing is I'm entangling my 1 and 2 again. I'm entangling 1 and 2 again because I measured information from my first qubit. So first qubit is measured now. So what I'm doing is I'm entangling my first qubit and my Bob. I'm entangling Eve with Bob. Another way I can do it is the first qubit was measured by first classical bit. I can entangle my first classical bit with Bob. It's another way to do it, but please don't confuse yourself. You're just entangling the measured qubit of Eve with Bob. And now I'm entangling another qubit using control Z gate. What is in control Z gate? Well, in control Z gate, if my zeroth qubit is 0, I mean this qubit is 0, the passing information, this qubit is 0, and this qubit is 0, it will return 0. If this qubit is 1 and this qubit is 1, it will return -1. If both qubits are 1, it will return -1. Otherwise, it will return 0 or the same state. It will return the same state of the qubit. If both qubits are 1 at the initial state, it will return -1. That is the operation of controlled Z gate. All right. So I'm applying control X gate between. I'm only connecting connecting those measured qubits. If you are observing, I'm connecting Eve, which is already measured within Bob. So Eve is connected with an entanglement of control X, and Alice is connected with an control Z gate. So I'm connecting both with Bob. I'm connecting Eve with Bob, and I'm connecting Alice with Bob using two different operations. For Eve, I'm using control Z, and for Eve, I'm using control X, and for Alice, I'm using control Z. That's it for the algorithm. Now, or Bob will have the information which my Alice had at the initial time. My Alice was having information 1, the qubit state 1. You all said that. Let's see if my Bob is having the same state right now. So what I'm going to do is, before this, is this clear? This is the whole algorithm, guys. This is the whole part of the algorithm. These parts are the whole. If you want to transfer any information from any qubit, just do these steps again and again. Do this certain step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps. These 8 steps are the progression of this algorithm. There are 8 steps in quantum teleportation algorithm. These 8 steps are necessary. If you want to transfer any information from one qubit to another, if you're having a lot of information, let's say in our case, I'm having only single information, an X gate. If you're having a lot of information in a single qubit, like you passed many gates, you created your own logic gate and passed it to 0th qubit, and you want to teleport that information, just follow these steps. Follow this step. You apply an Hadamard gate to Eve, make an Eve qubit, which apply an Hadamard gate, and entangle the Eve between the the qubit you need to transfer, and then entangle Eve with Alice, then apply an Hadamard gate to Alice, then measure them both. Then what are you going to do is take control X gate from Eve to Bob and control Z gate from Bob to Alice. That's all the 8 steps you need to do. Hadamard gate, control X, Hadamard, 2 measurements, and control X, control Z. These are the 8 steps to perform the the quantum teleportation algorithm. So are we clear? Sorry if the algorithm is kind of hard to understand, but it is the way the algorithm behaves. I'll send you materials to understand the inner working of the algorithm. How does it exactly transfer the quantum information? I'll send you the materials. But since I'm planning to explain you 2 algorithms, so I'm skipping those part. So are you clear about the algorithm? I hope you at least get a rough idea about the algorithm. Do you? All right. So don't stress yourself with the working of the algorithm. Just know the steps of the algorithm and head on gate. Know these steps. These are the steps to implement this algorithm on any qubits. If you are doing any quantum operations in the future, or if you are transferring a state of one qubit to another, these are the 8 steps you need to do. These 8 steps, keep these 8 steps in mind. You can either screenshot this, because this is the actual algorithm. The algorithm is happening here, here, and here. These three parts, these three barriers, between these three barriers. This is the whole working of the algorithm. If you want to transfer any quantum information, if you want to do any quantum teleportation, follow these same steps. You will be transferring information from one qubit to another qubit. So don't worry about the working, I would say, because we got the algorithm. Just implement that algorithm. Now we're going to plot. We're going to do the same things. I'm going to initialize my two simulators, Quasum simulator and state vector simulator. We are going to plot our state vector and our Quasum thing. Okay. First, I'll import my plotBotch multivector and plot histogram, and I'm initializing both of my visualizations, simulators. Now I'll run it. Now I'm going to plot my state vector. So how will my state vector look like? Anyone have any ideas? I'm having 3 qubits right now. How will the state vector look like for each qubit, for each of my 3 qubit? What will be the state of qubit 1? What will be the state of qubit 0? What will be the state of qubit 2? Qubit 0 is our Alice. Qubit 2 is our Bob. And qubit 1 is our Eve. So I hope you remember this diagram. This is qubit 0, qubit 2, and this is qubit 1. So what do you expect to be the states of qubit 0, 1, and 2? The quantum teleportation is done, if you're wondering. We are already done the quantum teleportation. The algorithm is complete. What should be the result now? What should be the result we are expecting? Zero for 0th bit, 0 for second qubit. And what about the first qubit? Any other answers? Please tell your answers. It's fine if it's wrong, at least try. Get the idea of quantum teleportation in your mind. Even if you don't understand this algorithm, the algorithm we just did, these diagrams, you understood this diagram, right? What we actually did was transferring the information from Alice to Bob, which is 0th qubit to second qubit. Which information we transferred? Which was the information we transferred? Which was the qubit state we transferred? Which qubit state did we transfer? 1 for Q2. Yeah, Pranav was right. We transfer the NOT gate from 0th qubit to second qubit. So when we apply a NOT gate to a certain qubit, what will happen? The qubit will go from 0 to 1. It will inverse. The qubit will initially be at 0. When we apply a NOT gate, the sign will be reversed. So it will go to 1. Now we'll go and run it. You can see it worked. Qubit 0 is pointing at 1 because qubit 0 is in superposition right now. Qubit 0 no more has the state it has. Well, I'll run it again to show it to you. Qubit 0 is at superposition now, right now. I'll do it once again. Qubit 0 and qubit 1 are in superposition. Kindly note them. Yeah, this is a better representation. Qubit 0 and qubit 1 are in superposition, and qubit 2 always points at 1 because the state of qubit 0 has been completely transferred to qubit 2. That is what been happening. Well, if you visualize our qubit before we did the operation, our qubit 0 will pointing at 1, and our qubit 2 will be pointing at 0 or it will be pointing at 0 exactly. So did you understand this output? Qubit 0 and 1 is at superposition, and qubit 2 has the NOT gate to it. Now it has the NOT gate to it. Qubit 2 has the NOT gate to it. Did you understand? Can you see the teleportation which has just happened between qubit 0 and qubit 1? The quantum state of qubit 0 is being teleported to qubit 2. Yeah, can you reason it? Is this logical? Can you understand it? Yeah, So what I'll do is now let's visualize these visualizations before we did the algorithm. Okay, so we are going to visualize the same things before we did the algorithm. So what I'll do is I'll copy all these things before the algorithm is done. I'll visualize them. Where did the in this part we made the initialization of our qubit. Now what I'll do is I'll add a new cell and paste all of it here, and I'll copy this. Yeah, paste it. All right. So I'll run my code from the beginning. So I'm initializing my quantum circuit again, which has no operations to it. Then I'm using an X gate to my quantum circuit. Now I'll visualize it. Run this, and I'll run this. So how does the visualization look like? So our qubit 1 stays at one position. No matter how many times I run it, our qubit 1 stays at one position. Why your qubit 1 stays at one position? Because we applied a NOT gate to my qubit, qubit 0, not qubit 1, sorry. My qubit 0 is staying at one position because I applied a NOT gate to my qubit 0. So no matter how many times you run it, it will stay at one position. And the default position for other qubits will be 0. If you're not applying any operation, the default position for other qubits will be 0. However, our qubit 1 will stay, qubit 0 will stay at one position because we applied a NOT gate to it. Now, we are going to do this algorithm again. After performing that algorithm, the state of qubit 0 has been transmitted completely to qubit 2. Qubit 0 will no more stay at one position forever. Well, if I run it, it collapses to 0 now. Now my qubit 2 stays at one position. However, here, my qubit 0 stayed at one position. Here, my qubit 2 stays at one position. So we basically transmitted the quantum information from 0th qubit to our second qubit. We actually teleported the information from my 0th qubit to my second qubit. Quantum teleportation actually worked. So is this clear? Could you see your quantum teleportation working? Can you understand the teleportation has been actually worked? Can you at least understand that part? And we used Bob, Eve, and Alice part. Yes? And if I give you this diagram, if I give you this diagram, can you implement the same algorithm with two separate qubits? Can you? If I give you this diagram, this particular diagram, which explains the whole algorithm behind it, can you implement the whole quantum circuit? Anyone? Say I can, if you can implement the whole quantum teleportation algorithm if I give you this diagram, because this diagram explains the whole algorithm, right? So if I give you this diagram, can you create your own quantum teleportation? Can try. We'll try. Okay, great. So make sure you try it in your home. Try giving different inputs, different starting points to your quantum circuit. Then give this diagram and use this diagram and build your own quantum circuit, quantum teleportation circuit. All right. So are there any doubts? That's it for our quantum teleportation algorithm. We finished the algorithm so soon. Any doubts about this algorithm? Kindly ask your doubts. I'll try my best to clarify them, because we need to move on to our next algorithm. Before we are moving on, I need to make sure you are clear with this algorithm. Any doubts? Come on, guys, and ask me doubts. Well, all right. So, what do you think this quantum teleportation may be useful for in real world? Where could be this quantum teleportation useful for? Think of some ideas in real world, in our real life. What could be this quantum teleportation applied for? In which or whatever things this quantum teleportation can be applied for? We studied algorithm. It's not enough to study algorithm. You need to know the purpose of that algorithm, right? So we studied algorithm. That's it. You're gonna. It's an algorithm has been found to use it on something, use it on some application. So what this is algorithm purpose? What is the purpose of this algorithm? What purpose that does this algorithm serve? Any ideas? Encryption of information. Yeah, good. Pranav told encryption of information. That's a good point. You can encrypt that quantum information because he will not know the quantum particle. He will not know the information of which the quantum bit was. So you can easily encrypt that information. Any other answers? Come on, try, guys. And exactly which part will be this algorithm useful for us? Come on, try. Movements of particles of matter. Well, actually, the particles and matter is not moving. Only the information is being transported, teleported for to be precise, not transported. Only the information is being teleported from one atom, from one quantum particle, not exactly an atom, from one quantum particle to another quantum particle. We are teleporting, not transporting. It's actually teleporting an information from one quantum particle to another quantum particle. You're not transferring the exact matter. So this can be useful in cyber security. If you need to transfer some information which is really secure, you can use this. Yeah, information of some object can mean shared to other object. That's what I was saying. Cyber security you can transfer information of certain qubit to another qubit, and no one in between will know what the information is, except for the person who is receiving that information. Except for Bob, Alice Eve cannot find the information which has been passed to Bob. Eve can never find that information. Only Alice and Bob will know. And when it's transmitted to Bob, Alice won't have that information anymore. So Alice won't know either after that. Only Bob will have that information. When you're transferring an information between a network, it's possible for hackers to hack you. However, in quantum computing, it's not at all possible. Whenever you're transferring information, no one can hack that information. No one can take the information from you because it's impossible to copy an qubit, right? We saw that. The theorem name. What is the theorem name? So, okay, I'm not showing it. Can someone remember the theorem name? No cloning theorem. Naren, great. Information of some object can be shared to other object. Data processing and automatic reasoning. Well, data processing, I wonder how data processing can be done using this technology, using quantum teleportation. Well, there might be other algorithms for this purpose, but quantum teleportation can't do data processing actually. However, it can be higher advantage in cybersecurity and other fields like that because no hacker can hack your information. Not a greatest hacker in the world can hack your information because they are atoms. They can't copy that. They can't copy that information or they can't take that information except for the receiving end. No one can do it. So it's a real securest way of transferring your information, I would say. All right. So are everyone clear about the the quantum teleportation? Shall we move on to our next algorithm? Next one is a little bit more interesting. Yeah, great. So go ahead and close this, or I'll just go back. And I'll now go to my GitHub. And I'll go to quantum computing again. Now I'll click on quantum computing 4.ipynb. We're going to do this now. I'll click on open in Colab. So this algorithm is called as Bernstein-Weisz-Zeroni algorithm. So what does that algorithm signify? Well, this algorithm was found by a scientist named Bernstein-Weisz-Zeroni, hence the name Bernstein-Weisz-Zeroni algorithm. But what is the purpose of this algorithm? Well, if you take a classical computer, my laptop or your own computer, how many tries it will take a classical computer to find a secret number? For example, let me say I'm giving a secret number like a binary number, like I'm giving 11001. I'm giving a 5-digit secret number 11001, which is a binary number. How many tries will a computer take to predict that secret number? I need to write a program to predict that secret number, pertinent secret number 110011, let's say, or 11001, a 5-digit secret number, which is binary, which contains only 1 and 0. How many tries will our computer take, or normal computer take, to predict that secret number? Any ideas? Just guess the tries, number of tries a classical computer would take. Come on, it's just guesses. How many times do you take the classical computer take to predict a certain secret number? 32 tries. Any other guesses? Pranav is saying 32. Any other guesses? Well, if it's a 4-digit number, it will take it 4 times, because we can apply a NOT gate to the certain number, and then we can get the result as, if let's say if it's 1 at certain point, the result should be 1 at the below point. So we can apply a NOT gate to that number, and it will take us 4 tries, I guess, if you are applying NOT gate. So if you can research about it in the internet, they will give you a detailed information of predicting the secret number. There are many programs in the internet to do that. However, in a quantum computer, we will take only 1 try to predict our secret number. Let's see how we are doing it. First, I'll install my Qiskit and Matplotlib and import them, and then I'll import the visualizations. It's been installing. So before we go there, I'll just comment these parts, and I'll uncomment this. So let's say our secret number is 10100. It is a 5-digit secret number, which is 101100. This is a 5-digit secret number, and we are going to use an algorithm called Bernstein-Weiss-Zerono algorithm to predict this per a certain secret number. I'm defining the secret number here. How am I going to predict it? Well, first, what I'll tell is, I'll comment this, and I'll uncomment this. All right. So here I'd give. Someone asked me about giving the n number of qubits and letting the quantum computing circuit take the particular qubits. You can do it this way. So here I'm saying I need, if my secret number is 5 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I need 6 qubits and 5 classical bits. So what I can do is len of secret num. Len of secret num will give me 5, and plus 1 will give me 6 qubits and 5 classical bits. Len of secret num, 5 classical bits. If my secret number is 5, I need 6 qubits and 5 classical bits. That's how we are going to get the number of qubits right away from the secret number. Number of qubits and number of classical bits right away from the secret number. So is this line clear? Is this particular line clear? Yes? Or should I explain that line again? Why 5 classical bit? Because the operation needs only 5 classical bits. We won't need any more classical bits to measure it. We only need to measure 5 qubits, so we'll be needing 5 classical bits. If we are having 5-digit number, we need 5 classical bits and 6 qubits. If we are having 6-digit number, we'll be needing 7 qubits and 6 classical bits. So then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give an Hadamard gate to all the first 5 qubits. I'm going to apply an Hadamard gate to all my first 5 qubits. I'll comment this part again and uncomment this part. All right. I will apply an Hadamard gate to my first 5 qubits. 0th qubit, 1st qubit, 2nd qubit, 3rd qubit, 4th qubit, 5th qubit. I'll apply an Hadamard gate to my first 5 qubits. And once I do it, what I'll do is, well, I'll apply an X gate to my 6th qubit, Hadamard gate to my first 5 qubits, Hadamard gate to my first 5 qubits, and X gate to my 6th qubit, and then again Hadamard gate to my 6th qubit, X gate and Hadamard gate to my 5th and 6th qubits, two times. 2 gates I am applying to my 6th qubit. For my first 5 qubits, I'm applying Hadamard gate. For my 6th qubit, I'm applying a NOT gate, and then an Hadamard gate. Is this clear? Am I clear? For my first 5 qubits, I'm applying Hadamard gate. For my 6th qubit, I'm applying a NOT gate followed by an Hadamard gate. All right? Should I explain again? Please ask me to explain again if you don't understand. Guys, please type out clear if I'm clear. If I'm not clear, please type out not clear, because that is the only way I will know and I can continue. Okay, I'll explain again. So what I'm doing is my quantum circuit is, well, I'll just comment out this part as well to give you a better understanding. I'm creating a circuit right now. So circuit. I'm creating a circuit right now, and my quantum circuit should have Q dot quantum circuit. My quantum circuit should have 5 qubits. Why 5 qubits? Because my number is a 5-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-digit number. So my quantum circuit should have 5 qubits. And 5 classical, actually 6 qubits. 5 plus 1, 6 qubits. And 5 classical bits. The number of digits in my number is 5 plus 1, 6 qubits, and 5 classical bits. That is what exactly this code is doing. And then what I'm doing is, for the first 5 qubits, we are having 6 qubits, right? So for the first 5 qubits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the first 5 qubits, to be precise, to all the qubits, I'm doing that. To all the qubits, I'm applying my Hadamard gate. To all my qubits, I'm applying my Hadamard gate. Then for only the 6th qubit, for only the last qubit, I'm applying an X gate. I'm applying X gate for only the last qubit. For first 5 qubits, I'm applying Hadamard gate. For my 6th qubit, I'm applying an X gate. X gate followed by an Hadamard gate. I'm defining a quantum circuit with 6 qubits and 5 classical bits. And for the first 5 qubits, I'm applying a Hadamard gate. And for the 6th qubit, I'm applying a NOT gate followed by an Hadamard gate. That's all I'm doing. You can see the thing over here. So if I run it, I'll just run it and give a basic understanding. Index out of, okay, the code is not yet perfect, so that's why it's giving me the error. I'll just run until this part. All right. So now when I run it, yeah, I didn't import this stuff. Sorry. Basically giving the error. I didn't import this stuff. I didn't import my secret num. Right. Give me index out of range.
Sir, you have 6 qubits, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is x6?
Sorry?
Your 6th qubit will be 5, right? Q5.
Yeah.
So then you put a NOT gate on 6. That 6 was never defined.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Pranav. So I was confused by that. So this should be my 7th one, actually. Or I should be actually saying
fifth one.
All right. So now it will work. So thank you, Pranav. And I didn't give circuit.draw, I guess. I'll draw it. Yeah, this is my circuit for now. I'm applying my H gate to my first 5 qubits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for my first 5 qubits. And for the last qubit, I'm applying an X gate followed by an Hadamard gate. H gate to my first 5 qubit, and to my last qubit, X gate followed by an Hadamard gate. That is what I'm doing as the first step. And then I'll do a barrier. And then I'll apply a barrier for my circuit. Now my circuit will look like this. The next step I'm doing is I'm doing a controlled X between our qubits. Let's see what are the places where my one exists. My one exists in the 0th position and my second position. My one exists in 0th position and second position. So the places where my one exists, what I should give is control NOT gate, 0th qubit, comma 5th qubit. places where my 1 exists, I need to give a control NOT gate between 0th qubit and the last qubit. Then where is my 1 exist? 0th place, first place, second place. So I'm saying second qubit towards my 5th qubit. So I'm applying a control NOT gate at the places where my 0 exists, my 1 exists. So my first qubit has a 1 exist and my second qubit has a 1 exist to it. So I'm applying a control NOT gate at that places. So when I run this, now you'll see my 0th qubit, which has a 1 to it, has been connected to my last final qubit. And my 5th qubit, second qubit, which has a 1 to it, has been connected to my final qubit. So is this clear now? Is this clear? Should I explain again? Come on, ask me to explain again if you need it. Am I clear until now? Yeah, great. So I got the places where my 1 exists and connected it using a control NOT gate. Then I'm using a barrier. I'll create another barrier. Then my output will look like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm applying Hadamard gates again to my first 5 qubits. I'm applying Hadamard gate again. All right. They're applying Hadamard gates again. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my first 5 qubits. Only the first 5 qubits, not the final qubit. I'm going to measure only my first 5 qubits. And then finally I'll give a barrier. All right. Okay, so we had a 5-digit number. We applied 5 Hadamard gates to my first 5 qubits, and to the last qubit, I applied an X gate followed by an Hadamard gate, then a barrier. Then I applied a control NOT gate to the qubit which has 1 to it, 1 position to it. So my first digit has 1 to it, 0th digit has an 1 to it. So I applied a control NOT gate here, and my second digit has an 1 to it. So I'm applied a control NOT gate connecting to the final qubit. Then I again applied those Hadamard gates again, these 5 Hadamard gates to my first 5 qubits. Then what I did was I measured all those qubits using classical bits. That's the procedure to get the secret number. So now how will I get it? I'll initialize my simulator and print my counts. So we actually got that certain secret number. The secret number we had is 10100. And if you actually reverse this number, 101000. So we got that actual secret number by getting the counts from it. We got the secret number and we got the counts from my particular secret number. So is this clear? In a single run, we got the secret number, but this code will not run on every secret number. It will run on that particular defined secret number. We need to modify this code to run on every secret number. Is this code clear until now? Is this algorithm clear until now? Is this diagram clear to you? What are the steps we did in this diagram? The purpose of barrier is just for visualization. Well, when you see this, if you see this all without barrier, it would be a little bit confused. Let me take all the barriers. I'll take this barrier out, take this barrier out, and take this barrier out. All right. So now when I run this, you see, you can't really understand this code. It is confused, really confused. This code is really messed up. You can't really understand this one. So you need barriers. When you have barriers, you can understand these codes better. These Hadamard gates were applied finally, but you can see these Hadamard gates are been stacked before the first Hadamard gates. That's why we need barriers to understand the steps of the visualization. When you see the visualization, you should be clear with the algorithm. You can see the difference, right? With barrier and without barrier. This is the code without barrier. So when I apply barrier to it, I'll apply barrier now. All right, when I apply barrier to it, it's far more clearer. So do you get it? Why are we using barriers? It's far more understandable. The whole code has been visualized in this diagram with barrier. Without barrier, we were confused about the code. All right. So we did it, but it will only work for this certain secret number. It will only work for this secret number, right? It won't work if I give any other new secret number. So how do I make it to work for any secret number? So a way is, well, I'll remove all these stuff. I'm doing the same operations for any secret number. So don't confuse yourself with this code. What I'm actually doing is making it to work with every secret number. So I removed this parts. I'll comment out this part and uncomment this line. So we are going to apply header mark gate to the length of first 5. Then an X gate and the H gate to the last qubit. That's why I'm giving this an H gate to the X gate to the last qubit. And this control NOT gate. And I'm going to apply the control NOT gate whenever that particular qubit gives us 1. So don't worry about this code. If you don't understand this code, it's fine. You understood the algorithm. I'm doing this algorithm, making this algorithm suitable for every other digit, every other secret number. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, if that particular digit is 1, we are going to apply a control NOT gate to it. That's all I'm doing in this part. Then for the range of the secret number, I'm going to apply header mark gate again. Then I'm going to measure it. Measure the first 5. First 5 means for the first numbers, first few numbers. I'm going to measure it. And I'm going to make a barrier. That's it. We have done our code. And now when I run it, it will give me the same output if you observe carefully. Q2 and Q4 are now connected. Well, yeah, actually I reversed those things because I want this outputs in reverse. So I reversed actually those things. When I run this, I want this output to be more present. Now it's giving me the same output, 1 0 1 0 0. So I actually reversed those outputs. Since I want those outputs to be the same as our initial output, so I reversed those some code to get an exact output of it, 1 0 1 0 0, and my secret number was 1 0 1 0 0. What if I give some other secret number? I will say 1 2 0. All right, this is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9-digit secret number. All right, now I'll run it. You can see we are getting a huge diagram, and all the first gates have been applied header mark gate, and the final gate has X gate and header mark gate and a barrier, and the places at control NOT gate, and again header mark gates and barrier, and measuring all the qubits except the last qubit. And then when I print the counts, let's see if it's the same. 1 0 1 1, and the others are 0 1 0. I gave 2 9. Yeah, it's a binary. Sorry, I'm giving 2 9. It's binary. So I shouldn't give 1 2 3 digits. I was confused. I'm giving binary here. So I'll give some other digit here. Final, I'll give 1 and again. Now when I run it, yeah, let's see now. Yeah, it's working. We are getting the same digit as the output. Are you clear about it? How you are getting this same digit as your output? Not exactly. Well, here we are using for loop only for the control NOT part. Control NOT part we are using for loop. For the other parts, I'm not using for loop. Only for the control NOT part we are using for loop to guess that particular number and apply a control NOT gate at that particular part. All right. So are we clear until this? Are we clear about predicting any secret number? Yeah. Should I explain again? Well, don't worry if you don't understand this algorithm, this implementation, because I've done so many things here to suit the exact algorithm. But we are doing the exact algorithm I just did without these steps, without commenting them. I did the algorithm right. I'm doing the same steps. So if you're clear, just say clear. Or if you need to explain me again, I'll explain again. Well, is no one clear? Guys, I'm expecting your messages. If you didn't understand, please ask to explain again. Don't be passive. If you did understand, type in clear so that I can move on. I know it's beyond 4. It will take us a few 10 more minutes to complete, so don't worry. For any other number, we don't need to. Do we need to convert to binary form? Yeah, that's the next step I'm gonna do. So what we are gonna do now is I'm gonna take a normal number, and then I'm gonna convert that decimal number to binary number, and then pass it to our this certain algorithm. So I'll do it right now. I'll take a certain number. This is the code to convert a decimal to binary, by the way. What will happen is when you enter any secret number, it will convert the number to binary number, and then it will save it in the secret number part. Any number, you can enter any number in this part, and it will convert to a binary and store it in the secret number part. Then what I'll do is, first let's run this, and I'll give some number. I'll give the number as 29. Yeah, I'm entering the number as 29. My secret number is 29. Now when I run my circuit, do all the necessary works. So this was my algorithm working behind it. And now when I simulate it and print counts, it will print the binary version of that number. And now I will convert that binary back to integer. So how will I do it? First, I'll remove these extra things here from the count. I'll remove the 1 here. I'll remove the semicolon. I will only take these stuff. So how I'll take this? I'm removing them using a method called string methods in Python. So I'm removing them. And then what I'm doing is I'm converting them into a decimal. So when I run it, the secret number is 29. We gave the secret number as 29 here, and now it's showing us your secret number is 29. We'll try with other secret number. Well, I'll do some other secret number here. I'll give 50. And run this. Run this. Run this. And run this. The secret number is 50. So instead of running all the cells, I've created another one in which you can run the cell straight away. Secret num prediction.ipynb. Just click it. You can run it straight away. You don't need to run all the cells. It will ask you a secret number and give you the answer. Open in Colab, I'll say. I'm using the same algorithm, Bernstein-Weisz algorithm. But here you don't need to run all the cells every time. So someone give your own secret numbers. We can try it on. Give your own numbers. We can use our algorithm to predict it. Give some numbers, guys. We can use our algorithm on that number, on that particular number. All right. That's a huge number. Well, let's try that. Naren sub Rish, Control C. Copied it. So I'll let my code run. Import stuff running. In the meantime, some other people give your own secret numbers, not your passwords. Just give some random numbers so we can, our quantum computer can help us predict, quantum algorithm can help us predict the number. Let's see if the number is being predicted correctly. Yeah, done with this. Now I'll run this whole code. The whole code, I've pasted this whole code in a single cell. All right. Now I'll run it. It's asking my secret number. I'll paste the secret number Naren gave me and press enter. Your quantum algorithm is running. The binary of your number is, it's giving me the binary. That's a huge binary. And we are getting your secret numbers 1117197111000864. What if I want a diagram for this? I'll ask the diagram for it. Circuit dot draw output equals MPL. The drawing of the diagram will take you some more time. Output. Oh, I'm terrible in spelling. Sorry. Yeah. we got a huge output. Well, we can scroll it up to get the output because we got a huge binary number, right? This is our complete output of Narayan's secret number. Because this is a huge binary number, you can see the binary number is really huge. So we need to perform header mod gate for all other qubits. It's taking us 31 qubits. For 30 qubits, we are applying header mod gate. The maximum qubit quantum computer we are having is 20 qubit quantum computer. We can't run this code in a real quantum computer. But since it's a simulation, we can run as many qubits we needed. But we don't have a 30 qubit quantum computer for our daily usage. We can use a 20 qubit quantum computer though. So I'll use Bacha's or Pranav's number now. I'll copy it. Now this one. I'll run it. Let's see if this number has been predicted correctly. Binary of your numbers, it's big too, not as big as Narayan's. The secret number is 245678. It predicted correctly. Now when I draw the output, drawing of the output will take you relatively longer time. It takes us a lot of qubits too. It is an 18 qubit output. And the other secret number we got was Bacha. I'll copy it. Feel free to give other numbers, guys. You can have fun exploring. I'll paste it. And here, 54221. We got our secret number. And about the output, the binary is pretty big too. It has 16 qubits. Expansion of MPL. MPL stands for Matplotlib. Matplotlib is a plotting library used in Python. Well, you will use it in machine learning and plotting and data analytics. We are using that. MPL is embedded into Qiskit. That's why we are giving Matplotlib inline. And we are using that MPL over here in the output, MPL, Matplotlib. So are we clear? Are you clear about this program, secret number prediction? Feel free to download this program and run your own secret numbers with it. Just download it and click on the cell. You'll be asked for your secret number. Type in some random secret number, click enter, and you'll get that secret number predicted. And if you want to be plotted, you can run this one. So are you clear? All right. That's it for today's session. If you are having any doubts, feel free to ask it. We are done with 2 algorithms. You know now 2 algorithms. You can feel free to add this to your resume saying I've learned quantum computing, I know quantum computing, because you know enough to add that. We have learned 2 algorithms. You knew about the superposition and entanglement things now. You can visualize your own quantum results, the results from your own quantum computer, and you can create your own qubits too using this combinations of these qubits. And I'll give you some further learning materials in your WhatsApp group, so you can, those who wish to learn further, you can refer to the articles or blogs. You can ask your doubts if you have any, or I'll pass my mic to Saravanan sir.
Okay, hi guys. Very good evening. Okay,
Yeah,
Naren, Sabrish has a question.
you asked for algorithm for removing errors. Yeah, I remember it. But since time concern, I'll give you a video if possible, or an article in our WhatsApp group. I'll give it to you for sure. I'll add an new code in my GitHub repository too. Keep an eye on my GitHub repository. I'll add a new Python notebook to my GitHub repository explaining removing that algorithm, removing the errors from our algorithm from our real quantum computer. Is that sound fine? Sounds fine, Sabrish? All right.
Guys, just stay connected with us through our online platforms like either Facebook or YouTube, Instagram. So we'll keep posting about our important updates, and we'll be sharing some knowledge as well. And you can also stay connected in the WhatsApp group as well. And if you have any questions, you can just post it directly to Richard in that. He will help you with the answer. Just give us time. If not immediately, definitely we'll reply you back. Right? Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And guys, quantum computing is one of the rarest field where nobody talks about it now, but eventually people will understand the importance of it in future. So you guys have the cutting edge, one step higher than the others. You are learning this when no one in the world is learning it. Once AI, blooms, and people will start looking for the future advancement, and trust me, quantum computing will be there on the top. Okay, so just don't leave it just like that. Keep updating your LinkedIn, your GitHub. Please practice it. If you practice and share it to us, it will be very helpful, and we'll also feel happy for training you guys. Okay. I'm going to share you the feedback form now. Just kindly fill in the feedback form with the name exactly how you need on the certificate, right? So share the feedback form here. Okay, you can enter your feedback form. People who have not made the payment, you can make the payment, through the GPay, or I think you know the details. And we'll also update this session on, on our YouTube today, so you can have this video for your reference. And I hope you guys found this very interesting in 3 days. And trust me, only few people are out there learning quantum computing. Okay, great. So, do you have any questions for us guys before we leave? So next Friday we have a IBM Watson chatbot. You can learn that that's on Friday. We'll share the details to you. So IBM Watson chatbot is, once the chatbot came in, nearly 1 million people lost the job. Okay, and so find out how to create chatbots using IBM Watson, and we'll share that the meeting details on Friday. So we have a webinar on AI and artificial intelligence on Wednesday, and then one on Sunday as well. So there are more technical events which are coming up. So you can be a part of it, and I'll just share our online platforms for you guys. So if you like it, kindly share your feedback on any of your social media platforms, like your LinkedIn, or WhatsApp, or anywhere. Just share us the screenshot. That will give us a moral boost, because that's something which is really important now to support each other. So it will help us to reach more people. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed for the last 3 days. Thank you for spending your time. I hope you found this very useful, and do stay in touch with us, and we will be sending you the certificates within 3 to 5 days. That's the maximum time we tell, but you might get it much earlier than that. So kindly wait. If you don't get your certificate within 3 days or 5 days, just buzz me or in the our WhatsApp group, and I'll get it sent out for you guys. Yeah. So any questions, friends, before we leave for today? Thank you, Pranav, and thank you, Richard, for saying for being so patient. So he is one person who, if you ask him 100 times, he'll keep repeating. I know he will not move before everyone is on the same page. So he's one of the key persons we have, and I hope feedback link. I just share the feedback link. I'll share it again for you guys. There it is. So certificates will be sent only to people who made the payment, and rest, I hope we shared the knowledge to you. Great. Okay. Thank you guys. Once again, thank you. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box, please. Richard, you can stop the recording, Richard.
Yeah, sir. Sure.